Hello Lobos, welcome to your spring Quimby Oak Expectation Assembly. Every year we typically do a fall expectation assembly as well as a spring expectation assembly, just to remind you of all of the things that would make a good Lobo. So to go ahead and get us started, these are the three things that we are going to cover today. Our first section is going to be things to know, all things Quimby. Our second section is going to be rules and expectations, what to do and what not to do. And our third section is going to be all things distance learning, important stuff to know during distance learning. To get things started is our things to know. This is all our staff and school-wide initiatives. Just as a reminder, our Quimby Oak vision and mission statement. So here at Quimby, we are inspiring young minds to be thoughtful and resilient contributors to society. And Quimby Oak Middle School empowers young minds to be proactive, lifelong learners who think critically and communicate effectively. Here at Quimby, we have 5 foundations where we really focus all of the work that we do with both our students and our staff. We build strong, respectful relationships with students, and as a staff, we uphold the implementation of restorative justice practices with students, which you might know as PBIS. We push professional growth mindset and flexibility of practice and problem solving. We strengthen the development of rigorous and far-reaching learning experiences for students, and we reflect regularly on the profile of the learner and align to the Quimby Oak Middle School mission and vision. This year in distance learning, you students have been really focusing on these two. With our staff and our students, we are asking to build strong, respectful relationships with each other. We know that because you are miles apart, we still want to have those strong connections to each other. And then also to push your professional growth mindset and flexibility. Like, we realize that this is new for all of us, and you guys have been doing a stellar job so far. We're more than halfway through the school year, and you guys are rocking it. So keep it up and finish strong, you guys. You can do this, Lobos.
So as a Quimby student, we strive towards our attitudes and actions to follow our Lobos values. It includes being a leader, open-minded, being respectful, owning your choices, and being studious. We do have examples of what these look like when we're in person at school. However, we have adjusted examples and expectations to a distance learning format. Here is our distance learning PBIS chart. These are current specifics about our positive expected Lobos behavior. Actions of a leader, being open-minded, being respectful, owning your choices, and being studious have now shifted into taking care of yourself, taking care of others, and taking care of business. We sorted specific behaviors and attitudes based on distance learning in general, your lessons, or even your class periods and blocks, and the category of technology. As Quimby staff, we're going to continue to recognize you, our students, for your awesomeness. How do we recognize you for your positive Lobos values? Quimby has these positive behavior forms called COTCHAs. On the left, you'll see what we used with in-person learning. Now that we're in distance learning, COTCHAs have too gone digital. All Quimby staff can use our online system to reward a student with a COTCHA. These can turn into letters, and many of you have received letters at home to recognize your positive, fantastic Lobos value action, along with a small prize that comes with it. Parents and guardians can also recognize your awesome behavior and catching you doing something great online at our website. And as well, we have a monthly PBIS Lobos Pride award that we give out as well, that we post on Instagram if you're ever wondering who it was this past month.
Speaking of our website, if you haven't already been to our website at this point in the year, you should really go check it out. There's a lot of cool information there. There's information about how to contact your teachers, what's going on at Quimby, anything else that you possibly want to know about Quimby, it ends up somewhere on that website. So go check it out. The URL's right there, quimbyoak.eesd.org.
Hi Lobos, we're just here to give you some reminders about our distance learning school day. As you probably know by now, school starts every day at 9 a.m. Please work to be on time to that first period block, whether that be first period or fourth period. We have 3 blocks of 80 minutes each day of classes, and that excludes Wednesday because, as you know, Wednesdays are reserved for our 45-minute of advisory class. You are expected to attend each block for the whole time, and we continue to ask for you to have your cameras on. This ensures that the teacher knows that you are the one in class and you are engaged and that you are able to participate for the day. So please, as a reminder, cameras on. We also have advisory class. At the start of each school day, you start with your advisory teacher, and this starts at 9 a.m. We have a certain schedule for the week, which includes that we are doing our second step Wednesdays, and we are also doing our PBIS Thursdays. There are uplifting messages and more. The second step curriculum focuses around our social emotional learning lessons, while the PBIS lessons are lessons to support our positive behaviors here at Quimby. Advisory is not optional, so please be there and make every effort to wake up on time and continue to be awesome Lobos. So here you see an example of the LCP weekly schedule, and you can find this full schedule on our website, as Mr. Stolen had referred to earlier. But you know that on Mondays and on Thursdays, we have our first, second, and third period block. And on Tuesdays and Friday, we have our fourth, fifth, and sixth period block, with our Wednesdays reserved for our 45-minute advisory block.
For our LSI students, you should recognize this schedule too. This is your daily schedule. Please note that we do have a workshop period that we spend every Tuesday and Friday. That doesn't mean you're done with school. You need to make sure that you're signing into the right class. If you're not sure where to go, check Echo. Our teachers always post which block we're meeting at because it is a rotating period. We also use that time from time to time to meet as a school. But please make sure that you're attending all of your classes. I also want to emphasize that on Wednesdays for both LSI and LCP, you are not done with school at 9:45. You are expected to be doing work throughout the day. We provide you with some time frames to spend how long you should spend on each class, so you don't spend too long on anything or not too short on anything. But you should be doing work throughout the day, but it's asynchronous and there's not classes that you sign into. Okay? If you need to miss school for any reason, you need to make sure that you are letting the office know, just like you would in regular school. And it cannot just be you. Your parents need to call the attendance office each day that you are going to be absent. You can also call in a block of days if you know you're going to miss 3 or 4 days, but your parents need to call and let us know of all the days you're going to be absent. If you're going to miss more than 5 consecutive days, we do typically ask for some kind of doctor's note. You can get all that information from Ms. Pinter when your parents call that in. You also can send her an email as long as you include in the teachers. Make sure your teachers know too. In person, it's a little bit easier because obviously students are walking in and out. But when it's virtual, it's really important that your teachers know. So send them an email too and say, hey, I'm not going to be there today. So that way they can make sure you're caught up on what you might be missing that day. We also make sure that we're keeping track of our tardies. We need to make sure that we're on time. This is a good skill to develop. Even with Zoom, if you can pull up at 8:59, you're on time, but we don't want you rolling in just whenever you feel like. So please make sure that you are aware of the tardy policy. Now, why does this matter? It's distance learning. It's part of the Ed Code, which is like the laws that dictate everything that happens at school. And it says, I'm going to read this part, a pupil who is absent from school without a valid excuse for 3 full days in one school year, or tardy or absent for more than 30-minute periods during the school day without a valid excuse on 3 separate occasions in one school year, can be classified as truant, and you get reported to the attendance supervisor or the superintendent of the school district. That's just a really fancy way to say, we keep track of your attendances. You'll be hearing from us. You'll be hearing from our office staff. We want to make sure that you're coming to school. We want to make sure that you're attending, and we want to make sure that you're not just showing up whenever you feel like. You got to be there for the whole time. All right? Now, a couple reminders. If you are coming to campus for any reason, we got 2 things that we ask. 1, please wear a mask. We want to make sure that our office staff is safe. We want to make sure that you're safe. We expect you to be wearing a mask. If you're not wearing a mask on campus, you're going to be asked to leave or put on a mask right away. So make sure you bring that mask when you come. Second of all, if you can call ahead and let us know why you're coming or what you're coming for, we can make sure that it's ready. We can make sure that you are in and out of campus as quickly as possible to keep everybody safe at a socially distanced spacing. You should have textbooks. They should be there. You shouldn't have lost them at this point because they're just sitting there at home with you. Now, if something is missing, please let us know so we can see if we can track it down. Your textbooks need to be in the same condition. Don't let Sparky grab your book and rip it up to a million pieces. It needs to be in the same condition when we turn them in at the end of the year. So make sure you keep them safe. Make sure that you know where they are. And if you are having trouble locating them, let us know now so we can plan ahead accordingly.
In this next section, students, we are going to cover rules and expectations. So be sure you're listening because this is an important review.
Academic integrity. Any copying, plagiarizing, cheating, or giving your work to others to use is inappropriate and is stealing of that intellectual property. Consequences may include 0 for the assignments, referral to your assistant principal, parent notification, or alternative work during class. We've already seen a couple instances this year of students submitting someone else's work. We've had to have a very stern conversation, and the students have more often than not taken ownership for their choices. We want to see that. That's part of our Lobos values, taking ownership. That being said, academic integrity is very important, and it's important that you learn it now. Because if you wait until high school to decide, let's try plagiarizing, it only gets more stiff. And in college, if you get caught cheating, they can actually throw you out. And that would be a lot of money to waste just because I couldn't do one assignment. So make sure you're submitting your own work and make sure you're not submitting the work of others. Couple other reminders. During class, you shouldn't be using your phone unless a teacher gives you specific instructions to do so. You guys all have devices. You all have the internet at your fingertips. There's no reason for you to be pulling out your phone and texting your friends or checking what's going on Twitter or trying to record a TikTok. None of that stuff's going to fly around here, okay? You need to make sure your phones are away during class. The other reminder is that we need you to wear appropriate clothes. It's school. You shouldn't be rolling out of bed and wearing like that holy t-shirt that you slept in because it was nice and comfy. You need to make sure you're wearing your clothes, wearing appropriate clothes, make sure you're dressed to learn, make sure you're ready to go.
All right, I'm going to talk about some California laws. There's a lot of them, and this is not the fun part of the presentation, so I'm going to try to get through them as quick as possible. But we just wanted to come here and remind you today because they are serious, and they also have some very serious consequences to them. So the first one we mentioned already earlier, you need to attend class every day punctually and regularly on time, follow all school rules, and obey them promptly with all directions of your teacher. The second one is that you cannot possess, sell, or otherwise furnish any firearms, knives, explosives, or other dangerous objects. Obviously, we are not in person. However, you shouldn't be having these at home as well, but definitely do not ever bring them when you do come to campus. There's no smoking or possession of tobacco if you are ever again visiting our campus. And the use, possession, or being under the influence of any controlled substance, intoxicant, or alcoholic beverage is also against California law while you are on school grounds. You cannot destroy or in any way injure public or private property. So if you are visiting campus, make sure that you're treating it just as if you would be treating your own home. That also includes the books that we are letting you use while at home. Please make sure that you're keeping them safe. You cannot steal or attempt to steal any school property. So again, if you find something on our campus, let's leave it on our campus. And all forms of fighting, again, where everything's digital right now, but again, digital or in person, we want to stay away from fighting with each other or even play fighting. Words can be misconstrued, actions can be misconstrued, so we just want to make sure that we're being kind to everyone. Education Code 51512 makes it unlawful to use any recording device in any classroom without prior consent for the teacher. So this one's really important because in the digital environment, from time to time, you will see that your teachers are going to be recording some of their lessons, and that's completely fine. The teachers have permission to do so. But you as a student do not have permission, unless your teacher grants it to you, to record any part of the meeting. That also means that you can't pull out your cell phone and record anything, take pictures of each other. That's also illegal. You don't have people's permission. So again, like we said earlier, keep your phone away. It will help you from staying out of trouble, as well as video games too. I just want to say that you shouldn't be playing any video games during class as well. When all the lights are blinking in your face, we can definitely see it. We know you're doing it. So just avoid that. Just when you're in class, stay focused on what you're doing. Our next section talks about discrimination and harassment policy. So Quimby Oak is a zero-tolerance school for any form of discrimination or harassment of any kind. This includes, but not limited to, religion, gender, race, or sexual orientation. We want our school environment to be free of all harassment and all discrimination. We are a very inclusive school, and we want to continue that. Again, you guys, Lobos, you have been doing great. We are so proud of everything that you have done in this weird environment we find ourselves in distance learning. So keep it up. Just keep going. You're doing great. Any violation of this policy, unfortunately, will result in a disciplinary action. If you ever come across any situation when in doubt, just ask, speak up, say something, and we'll make sure to give you the proper direction on what you should and shouldn't be doing. The next one is the student sexual harassment policy. Again, zero tolerance here. Sexual harassment of any kind from any student to another student is strictly prohibited. Violation of this policy will also result in disciplinary action. So again, just be kind, Lobos. This also applies to the bottom corner of the screen that we really want you to focus on your digital citizenship. Be responsible, always keep safety first, know your digital footprint. Anything you put out there online, on social media, it can be always traced back to you. Always be aware of who you are talking to, your surroundings. Give credit where credit is due. Mr. Stolen talked about the policy of academic integrity, so make sure that you're not copying anyone's work. And again, as always, kindness counts.
Be safe. Tell someone. If you're worried about a classmate, yourself, or a situation at Quimby, please use the Lobo helpline. It is anonymous, so you do not have to tell your name at all. You're able to report the concern, and it alerts our administration. Our administrators and I will figure out what is the best way to help with this situation and make sure that we address the concern. You can also email one of your teachers as well. Complaints. Sometimes issues or situations can occur. Please contact our main office or email one of your assistant principals about the complaint. Quimby's counselor, myself, and our administration team will investigate all complaints we receive and try our best to resolve them. There are protocols and procedures in place to address each complaint that comes into the office.
For our third and final section today, we are going to review all things distance learning. And as a little caveat, we also have something special in mind for our 8th graders, so make sure to stay tuned at the end.
For our first reminder around distance learning, we ask that you students are seated with your camera on for every class session. Your teacher needs to verify that you are, in fact, the one attending class and staying online. We also ask that you stay in class for the full duration of class. Some of you have been logging off a little bit early, and we want to correct that behavior because you're missing out on some really great information from your teachers, and those are missed academic opportunities for you. So please stay in class until you are dismissed. Teachers expect all students to stay online during the instructional blocks of time. If you miss class, please email your teacher. This is you being very communicative about your needs with your teacher. It shows your advocacy for your own academics, and you as the student are responsible for getting that work that you missed during that missed class to make up and turn in and submit for credit while you were gone.
If you are having any tech issues, there's times the Google Meet's not working, the Zoom won't let me in, my computer, my internet died, whatever it is, please call or email your teacher, and then call or email Miss Pinter here at the office at spinter@eesd.org and let us know that you're unable to join class. We will do our best to support you. Obviously, it's a little difficult over distance learning and virtually, but we will do our best to support you. We'll make sure your teachers know, and we'll get you back into class as soon as we can. You also can reach out to techhelp@eesd.org. They are a great resource to be able to help you out if you're having some tech issues and you can't seem to get a clear answer. They might be able to solve it as well.
When you're in class, please stay engaged in class. Reminders: turn off your cell phone, stay off of the social media, stay off of games, and especially the group chat site Discord. That is not where your academic focus needs to be. Please make sure that we can see your full face clearly. It's a clear indication if we see the side of your face like this, that you're probably engaged in video games, or as Miss George said, we see all these bright lights shining on your face. That's a pretty clear indicator that you are not engaged in class. So please stay engaged. It's not enough to be there just physically on screen. You need to be there mentally as well and participating in your education. Do not have the multiple screens up, as I mentioned, and be sure that you are looking at your teacher and facing the camera. Teachers are growing tired of seeing the sides of your face or even the top section of your forehead. So please just make sure that you are fully in focus on the camera so they can see you and see that you're engaged in the lesson. Teachers are tracking your engagement in your classes daily, so this is really important for that piece as well. Make sure you submit your work. We want you to keep track of deadlines and submit your work and let a teacher know if you're having trouble submitting it. This goes a long way to communicating with your teacher your various academic needs, and also keeping them informed if you are needing some further support with any lessons or work for the class. PE and distance learning. Please make sure that you are wearing clothes that you can exercise in during your PE period. Make sure that you have a clear space around you, at least 5 feet around you, so that you can do the exercises with ease without bumping into anything and keeping yourself safe, of course. And again, if I haven't said it enough yet, please make sure that your cameras are on so that your PE teachers know that you are doing the exercises.
All right, guys, we're at the part that all of our 8th graders have been really looking forward to. It's our 8th grade promotion ceremony. This year, it's June 9th, 2021. This is important because we want to make sure that we recognize all of our students that have qualified and survived and powered through and made it through a distance learning school year. We want to make sure that we recognize everyone, but you got to make sure you qualify. We aren't just letting everyone in. So that requirement to maintain and be able to participate is to maintain a cumulative 1.5 GPA. That means over the entire school year, you have averaged a 1.5 GPA or grade point average. You can ask your advisory teacher to help you how to calculate this. Miss Braga is someone that can help calculate this. All of your assistant principals and administrators can definitely help you calculate your GPA if you are unsure of where you stand. But you need to make sure you have a cumulative 1.5. That doesn't mean I can show up with my doing a couple assignments here and there and then try and turn it all on at the end of the year. You got to be doing it throughout the year. So if you've been a little bit behind that, make some changes now because there's still time for you to improve. Please make sure you regularly attend all of your classes. I'm not going to have someone participating in promotion if they decide to only show up once a week. I need you there every day. And most importantly, you shouldn't be having repeated disciplinary incidents. I shouldn't be having you come up here because I'm constantly doing things on Discord. You need to make sure you're participating and doing what you're supposed to do. If you do all these things, we've got some fun stuff planned. Last year we had a lawn sign. We're going to try and do a little better than a lawn sign this year, but you're only going to get that if you qualify for promotion. So make sure you're doing the work now. If you need help and you're not sure if you're going to make it, check in with Miss Braga, send her an email, check in with your advisory teacher. We can do our best to support you, but you got to reach out if you feel like you might not make it. The other thing that we want to make sure we recognize at our promotion ceremony is our valedictorian and salutatorian, which are going to be part of our graduation ceremony on June 9th. It is the ultimate academic honor, and we use a lot of different criteria to determine who our Val and Sal are going to be. We look at some things like having maintained the top grades and citizenship marks for both 7th and 8th grade years. We focus on 8th grade, but every year we've had ties, and we have to go look at 7th grade. So both years is something we look at. We also look at other criteria. We look at test scores. We can look at iReady data. We can keep going down all the tiebreakers until there is very clearly a Val and a Sal. And this will be the first Val and Sal from distance learning. So you want to make sure that if you think you could be the Val and Sal, that you are doing everything you can to make sure you get all those grades in. Okay?
Need help? Check in with the teacher. If you're let in early, you could always check in with them then. If you stay after class, you could meet with them then as well. You could always send your teacher an email or go to their office hours if they have them. You can always reach out to me. through email or even look through my page on the Quimby website under the Student Services tab. If you click Counseling, my Bitmoji Classroom appears. It has several links to things including my Calendly page, and this allows you to schedule a meeting with me. Please pick a time during your lunch, after school, or the last half of your PE or elective class. Those are the times that we can meet. Lastly, you can always email your assistant principal or Principal George. We want you to know and remember that there are so many people here at Quimby that are here for you.
Thank you. And just as a reminder, please follow us on all our social media. I know that we have some of you who are subscribing to our YouTube. Mainly your parents are following us on our Facebook account. I do know a lot of you are following us on Instagram or our TikTok. We are constantly posting Spirit Days. We're posting TikTok videos. Any of these assemblies are going up on our YouTube channel. Any parent nights that we're having throughout distance learning are going up on our YouTube channel. So go ahead and follow us so that you can make sure to stay connected. And again, from all of us to you, we are always together and never apart. Even though we are in distance learning, you guys are always on our heart, and we are here for you. Have a great day, Lobos. And again, if you need anything, we're just a phone call or email away. Bye.